morning, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to set up and talk about my sleep system that I'm going to be using on my thru hike coming up next month when I start at Amicalola Falls, Georgia and walk to Katahdin, Maine. I'm so excited I can hardly take it. So today I'm going to set up my hammock gear Cuban fiber tarp. It is a 12-foot tarp. It is the Winter Palace, so it hangs a little lower with the doors. So it's pretty exciting. It's a nice tarp. It doesn't weigh any more than about 9.5 ounces, I think. So that's pretty exciting. My Darien hammock from the Dream Hammock Company. It's a fantastic hammock. It's an ASIM lay. It's an 11-foot hammock, and I ordered it as wide as possible, and it is a 1.6 millimeter widest possible ripstop material. So very comfortable hammock. I'm using the E&O Helios whoopee slings as my secure system to the trees, as my suspension system. And then the other thing I'm using are my Hudson River 20-degree top quilt and my Mount Washington 20-degree under quilt, both from Jack's Are Better. Fantastic quilts, love them, and I'll break those out and talk to you about those here in just a few minutes. So stick with me while I get set up, and I'll take you through each piece of my sleep system. Okay, so there's the hammock. It's basically set up at this point. I don't typically stake out my the ASIM part of it because it interferes with the underquilt, but I can still get in it sideways and sleep in it quite comfortably. So give me a second here and I'll get the underquilts out and we'll talk about those. Okay, so now I'm going to hook up my Mount Washington 3 underquilt from Jack's Are Better. First I have to put the suspension system on the hammock suspension system. So give me a second, I'll do that. Okay, now I'm going to put the underquilt on the underside of the hammock. First thing you want to do is kind of fluff it up, give it a good shake. Loosen it down up. I don't store my underquilts in the compression sack. I store them in the bags they came with from Jack's Are Better. It's a big plastic bag that keeps it pretty lofted. I just compress it down to get it in the backpack. So give me a second and I will hook this up for you. There, it hangs nice and loose. It doesn't compress, which gives you a lot of insulation in the cold weather. That's a 20-degree underquilt. I've taken it down to 11 degrees and was quite comfortable, except for my feet. My feet got cold, but I've remedied that by buying a pair of down booties. So I'll be sleeping in those. This is an underquilt protector. This past year in 2019, I watched Frozen from Frozen's Outdoor Adventures. He did a thru hike and he slept in a hammock similar to this, and he said the one thing that he would do over again or he would do differently was to add an underquilt protector. So I went ahead and made that investment now. It helps keep the wind off the underquilt as well as keeping it dry from rain splashing up and stuff like that. So bear with me for a second and I will attach this. Okay, as you can see, that just hangs right under the underquilt. It fits it perfectly. It's the same color, so I didn't intend for that to happen, but it did. So I'm matched for fashion. But at any rate, it's going to protect the quilt. It's going to give me a few extra degrees of warmth because the wind won't be able to cut through that quilt. And now I'll show you my Hudson River 20-degree top quilt. Okay, so once again, when you get your top quilt out, what you want to do is give it a good shake so it can loft back up. I'll set this up well in advance of bedtime so it'll have a chance to re-loft in the hammock. So give me a second, I'll put that in there. Okay, so one final investment I just made just the other day, it just came in, is I got a Sea to Summit Thermalite Reactor Series top quilt liner. So this thing is not very thick. It's supposed to add about 14 degrees of warmth. But my primary goal with this is to keep my dirty body oils and mud and stuff like that that gets on you from hiking on this and not on my good quilts, because this will just throw it right in the wash and dry with laundry, no big deal. So it's comfortable. It's like I said, it's not very thick, but it's it'll give me a couple extra degrees of warmth, plus I won't have the feel of that synthetic bag on me. It'll just be, you know, the feeling of this material right here, which is quite comfortable, almost like a flannel type thing. So that'll go in there as well. All right, give me a second, I'll take you over and show you around the hammock. All right, so here is my Darien hammock from the Dream Hammock Company. I really like it. It's got a sewn-in bug net with a nice zipper series there. It's the zipper works really well. It seems really durable with some little pull cords on it. There's lots of room in this thing. I really like it a lot. Like I say, it's an ASIM lay, and I sleep with my head to the left and my feet to the right. I've also got a hammock organizer here from Hammock Gear. I like that a lot. I can just keep my phone in there, my reading glasses, flashlight, little things like that I need at night. It has a continuous ridge line, so the hammock always lays at the proper angle, which is helpful. Sometimes, you know, you pull it too tight or too loose and you just don't get a good night's sleep. Here's the underquilt protector right here. You can see how that just covers the underquilt. And these things, like I said, I've taken them down to 11 degrees and stayed fairly comfortable. I'm using the Helios hammock strap suspension system, which I like a lot. I've had it out on quite a few trips. And then I'm using the Dutchware clip, the Beaner, Dutchware Beaner. That thing, it doesn't weigh anything at all, and it's rated for, I think, 1,000 pounds or something. So very lightweight, I like it. My hammock tarp is in a snakeskin from Hammock Gear right now. I got the ridgeline set up with prusik knots. I was in the fire department, took some rope rescue classes, so I do a triple wrap prusik, which just holds it better. And then I've got a little micro beaner here clipped to the eyelet of the tarp so that I can adjust it one way or the other as I need it. And those snake skins are game changers for deploying these tarps. All right, so give me a minute to reset the camera and I will show you how to set up the tarp. Think about it. Here is the down booty I ordered from, I believe it was from Dutchware. It's their UP insulation. These things, the two of them don't weigh anything at all. They compress down real nice into nothing. I just keep them with my top quilt. When you get to camp at night, put on fresh dry socks, stick your feet in these. Whew, toasty. No more cold feet in the hammock. So looking forward to using these out, especially in the Smoky Mountains. So just thought All right, let's take a quick tour of the Hammock Gear Dyneema composite fiber tarp. All right, so here's the tarp. It's set up. Like I said, I think it's a 12-foot tarp. It's the Winter Palace from Hammock Gear. It has the doors It's got little shock cord attachments at the bottom. So when you tie it down to the string, you know, there's some give there. It has doors. I don't have them closed at this point. I have them tied back. But it does have doors on it, which I like, which will keep the wind and rain off of me. Lots of room under there. This thing, I mean, it almost feels like trash bag material. But I tell you, it is durable. It weighs nothing. They're really nice. There's some additional tie-outs here if you want to, you know, add something to give yourself a little extra space in there. I'll have a little extra cordage with me that I'll be carrying. So, but here we are. We got it all staked down. Plenty of room. Run a continuous ridge line across the top. Hammock fits in there nicely. Well protected. Looking forward to getting out on the trail and using it. All right, just a couple of final things to talk about. The hat on my head, that was made by Miss Dorothy that works. She volunteers in our office at work. I don't know if this is knitting or crocheting, needlepoint, I have no idea. But she made this, took the, you know, last probably couple months or whatever, when she found out I was going on a thru hike, and sat down and knitted this hat, which is alpaca material. So it's really good for keeping away smell, not growing bacteria and things like that. It's really a good material. She put cuffs on it so I can pull it down over my ears more when it gets really cold. It's a super warm hat. I love it. It's great. So, and more importantly, somebody took time out of their busy schedule to make something for me to go on the trail. So I am grateful beyond words. I mean, it's just amazing that somebody would do that. That's just incredible. So the other thing I've added to my gear list in the last couple of days are waterproof ski mitts. These things are rated to -22 below. Again, you can't really, you know, do fine motor skills with them, but they keep your hands dry and they keep them warm, and I can hold on to my trekking poles. Again, especially through the Smoky Mountains when it's freezing rain or snowing, and the temperatures just aren't cooperating. So these things are really super warm. They're lightweight. I'll keep them in my pack, and once I send my winter gear home or whatever, these will go home with that, along with a couple of other things. So currently my base weight is sitting at about 18.5 pounds. It's crept up only because I'm switching from my Z-Pack Arc Zip ultralight backpack back to my Osprey Zenith 88. It is a 5.5 pound pack. It's super comfortable. It wears really well, and I need that extra space and comfort for my winter gear. These things take up a lot of space. I can only get those down bags down so much, compressed down, you know, to a certain size. So that being said, I'm switching back to the Zenith 88. I don't plan on carrying that all the way through on the hike, just while I've got my winter gear. Once I go to my summer or warmer equipment, my warmer weather equipment, I'll switch back to the Z-Pack backpack, and my base weight will drop to 13 pounds because I'll be going with a 40-degree top quilt. I may trade in the full-length underquilt for a 3/4 length underquilt. Again, that's a Jaxar Better product, the Greylock 3. It's a torso length quilt, which I've used for many, many years, and I've never really gotten cold, even down into the 20s. So it's comfortable. I just wanted the peace of mind of having a full length underquilt. So thanks for watching the video today. We're just about a month out from starting at Hammock Falls. It's pretty exciting. I've got my gear dialed in. Everything's ready. I'm going to start bagging up a couple of resupplies to send to myself. I think I've got 3 figured out between the start and Standing Bear, and then after that it'll be all town stops, I believe. So I'm excited. I appreciate you watching. If you see any value in this video or any of my videos, please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. The link to all of my gears, all of my gear is above in the cover photo. There's a link as you're looking at the screen on the bottom right. It says my gear, and that'll take you to my lighter pack link, which has weights and descriptions and hyperlinks to all of my gear. So again, thanks everybody for watching. If you're off tomorrow for Martin Luther King Day, I hope you enjoy your day off and make the most of it. It's spitting snow out here occasionally now. It's still pretty chilly, but it's a nice day, and probably going to be out for a hike tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Take care.